George Mallory was born on June 18, 1886, in Cheshire, the son of clergyman. He had one older sister and two younger sisters and a brother. In 1896, George entered school and studied successfully for several years. In his last year of study, he joined the Andrew Irvine climbing and mountaineering section, which annually recruited students to climb the Alps. During the First World War, Mallory took part in combat operations as a member of the Royal Artillery. After the war, he returned to work as a teacher at Charterhouse, and in 1921 he resigned to take part in the first British expedition to Everest. The Everest expedition of 1921 was primarily exploratory in nature. Mallory and his old school friend Guy Bullock had mapped out a likely route to the summit of Everest from the North Tibetan side. The group attempted to climb the mountain in September, but strong winds turned them back to the valley that came to be known as the North Saddle. During the second Everest expedition, organized in 1922, Mallory and his team climbed to an altitude of 8,230 meters without supplemental oxygen, but could not move. The second attempt, in a few days, ended in disaster when his team was caught in an avalanche that killed 7 people. The first British expedition to Everest took place in 1924. During the expedition, 3 attempts were made to climb the peak. The first attempt was made by Mallory and Jeffrey Bruce on June 1st without oxygen. They managed to reach an altitude of 7,700 meters. The second attempt, also without oxygen, was made by Edward Felix Norton and Howard Somerville on June 2nd, reaching a record height of 8,570 meters on June 4th. The last attempt to reach the summit was made by George Mallory and Andrew Irvine from Camp 6 at an altitude of 8,168 meters. On June 8, 1924, a member of the expedition, a cameraman and geologist Noel Odell, saw them heading for the summit through a gap in the clouds. Then the clouds hid them, and no one has seen them alive since. The expedition leader, Edward Norton, decided that the search for Mallory and Irvine was inexpedient, and on June 10th, the expedition was curtailed. The body of George Mallory was discovered 75 years after the ascent of May 1, 1999 by the American Search Expedition at an altitude of 8,155 meters. It was located 300 meters below the northeast ridge, roughly opposite the spot where the British expedition led by Win Harris found Irvine's ice axe in 1933 and was tangled with a broken safety rope, indicating a possible failure of the climbers. Many artifacts were also found of Mallory's body, such as an altimeter, sunglasses, tucked away in his jacket pocket, an oxygen mask, letters, which made it possible to conclude that the fall occurred in the dark on the way down to Camp 6. But most importantly, a photograph of his wife Ruth and the British flag, which he intended to leave on the summit of Everest, were not found on the body. Andrew Irvine's body was never found.